The first rule drilled into my head before stepping onto the capital world of Vale Thyra was simple. Do not look directly at the royal bloodline. The Valari were an ancient species, tall, luminescent-eyed, with skin that shimmered like liquid pearl under their twin suns. Their royal family was considered semi-divine, believed to be biologically and emotionally superior to all others. Eye contact with the princess was seen as a challenge, a claim, or worse, a threat. Unfortunately for me, humans have a terrible habit of breaking rules without realizing it. I was there as part of a diplomatic engineering exchange, nothing glamorous. My job was to help stabilize the planetary shield lattice that protected Vale Thyra's floating cities. I wore a plain uniform, kept my head down, and reminded myself every minute that I was a guest in a civilization that could exile me with a word. Then Princess Lyra entered the chamber. The room fell silent in a way that wasn't ceremonial, it was biological. Every Valari present straightened instinctively, their bioluminescent markings dimming in deference. The air itself seemed to tense. I looked up. That was my mistake. Our eyes met. For a fraction of a second, nothing happened. Her face remained composed, regal, unreadable. Then I felt it, an almost imperceptible hitch in the air, like static before a storm. Lyra's pupils dilated. Her glow flickered, and her heart, audible only because of the Valari's transparent chest membranes, sped up. Gasps rippled through the court. She turned sharply, breaking eye contact, one elegant hand pressing lightly against her chest. "Why?" she said, her voice steady but strained. "Are you staring at me like that, human?" Every eye turned toward me. I swallowed. Your Highness. I wasn't aware that I... Her heart raced faster. The session ended early. That alone was unprecedented. I expected guards to escort me out. Or worse. Instead, I was quietly summoned later that cycle to a private antechamber overlooking the skyfalls, rivers of light that poured endlessly from the floating continents into the clouds below. Princess Lyra stood alone when I entered. "You may speak freely here," she said without turning around. "The room is shielded." I bowed awkwardly. "Your Highness, I apologize if my behavior was..." "Why did your presence disrupt my autonomic regulation?" she interrupted. I blinked. What? She turned to face me. Up close, the rumors made sense. Her beauty wasn't ornamental. It was structural. Symmetry perfected by evolution and centuries of selective refinement. But there was something else now, unease. "My heart accelerated," she said plainly. "My neural harmonics destabilized. That should not happen." "Ever?" I asked. "Never," she replied. I hesitated, then said the most honest thing I could. "Maybe you were nervous." Her eyes narrowed. "I am incapable of nervousness." "Then maybe," I said gently, "your biology disagrees with your training." Her glow pulsed, soft gold this time, not the cold royal white. "Explain." So I did. I told her about humans, about adrenaline, about attraction, fear, excitement, all tangled together in ways that science still struggled to fully map. I told her hearts were not always obedient organs. She listened intently. "You are saying," she said slowly, "that my reaction was emotional." "Yes." "That is impossible." "And yet," I said, "your heart doesn't seem to care what's impossible." Over the following days, I was reassigned, not away from the palace, as expected, but closer. Princess Lyra requested my presence during routine inspections, then informal discussions, then private walks along the translucent bridges connecting the floating spires. Officially, it was to study human unpredictability. Unofficially, every meeting made her heart race just a little faster. She began asking questions no Valari royal ever asked. What does it feel like, she asked one evening, to choose your own future? Terrifying, I answered. And amazing. Humans are allowed to love whom they choose, she said, not a question. Usually, I said. Sometimes we still have to fight for it. Her glow shimmered uncertainly. Valari royalty does not love. We form alliances. That sounds lonely, I said. She didn't argue. Instead, she placed a slender hand over her chest, eyes distant. My heart accelerates most when you are near. The physicians believe it is a defect. Is it hurting you? I asked. No, she said softly. It feels alive. The council did not share her curiosity. When they discovered her condition, they summoned her immediately. I was barred from the palace while they debated in sealed chambers. Rumors spread quickly of weakness, of contamination, of a human influence destabilizing the throne. 2 days later, guards arrived at my quarters. Not to arrest me, but to escort me. Princess Elira stood before the High Council, her posture flawless, her glow blazing brighter than I had ever seen it. This human will remain, she declared, and I will hear no further objection. An elder rose. Your Highness, your physiological irregularities are not irregularities, she said sharply. They are evidence. Of what? Of something you feared so deeply you bred it out of yourselves, she replied. Choice. The chamber erupted. She turned to me then, eyes steady, heart racing openly now unashamed. Humans do not suppress what they feel. They endure it. They grow from it. I felt my throat tighten. Elira. She held up a hand. I am not finished. She faced the council again. If feeling makes me less divine, then perhaps divinity was never strength. Perhaps it was distance. Silence fell. The ending. Princess Elira abdicated her claim to divine isolation, but not her crown. The Valari monarchy changed that cycle. Royalty would no longer be biologically constrained from emotion. The old genetic protocols were dismantled. The heart, once seen as a liability, was reclaimed as a guide. As for me, I was offered a permanent position on Vaelthyra, not as an engineer, as her chosen partner. On the night of the announcement, we stood together on the highest bridge, watching the twin suns dip below the clouds. My heart still races, she said quietly. I smiled. Good sign. She took my hand, openly, defiantly. I was born a princess, she said, but I am learning how to be human. I squeezed her fingers gently. Careful. It's contagious. Her laughter echoed across the skyfalls, brilliant and alive. And in that moment, the galaxy learned something new. Even an alien princess, raised above all others, could fall, not from grace, but into love.